Thank you for joining us. I am Jenna Gullo, Executive Director of the Missouri Slope Area-Wide United Way, hosting United Way's Community Talk here on Super Talk 1270. We have some fantastic guests representing both Bismarck and Mandan Public Schools. Heather Mathias is the Students in Transition Coordinator at Bismarck Public Schools, and Laura Just is the social worker. And Laura, you had mentioned during break that your husband, if I may mention him, is the director of alternative education in Mandan Public Schools. So what's he do?
Just recently, Mandan has started an alternative track education. So it is for students that are not able to graduate with the courses that are just mainstream within the high school. Some of them, it is because they are working daytime jobs to help support their families. And so they have the ability to come to the Brave Center with Mandan Public Schools in the evenings and do online courses through Odysseyware to get credits for graduation.
That is phenomenal. How exciting to hear that.
Yes, we are seeing a great success with it, and it's a good thing.
Well, it's interesting because at a presentation earlier this morning at one of our United Way businesses, I find that the common misperception is that many homeless folks aren't working. And we know that in North Dakota, 43% are employed. And do you find that with a lot of the homeless students that you meet?
We absolutely do. We one of the things to use a lot of our services through Aid Incorporated and other organizations, we talk to them about working and about getting jobs. Some of them lack the skills to be able to do that, but then there's other things that we can do to help them. There's other programs to hook them into. It is their desire to seek employment so that they can eventually get on their feet and support their families.
And so through this alternative education track, students are able to work during the day and do online courses during the evening. How new did you say that program is?
I think it's been going now for the last couple years. Right now, they're considering it a full-time program because they have, I want to say it's about 40 students right now enrolled in that program that are able to come and work at their level with the courses that they need to seek their high school diploma.
And we know that they're going to have a greater likelihood of success later in life if they get that high school diploma.
Absolutely, they will.
And so for these students, what types of courses are they just taking the common curriculum, at the high schools? Are they able to engage in any trade skills or learning so that they are able to, maybe advance to BSc after they're done? Or
there is a whole variety. Technology has been a really good thing for our students. They are able to take courses. Of course, they need the common ones, the math, the reading, the histories, the Englishes. They need the core curriculum first. But then after that, there are a variety of classes that they can choose from that suit their needs and are going to help them get set for jobs later on in life.
And there's also Job Corps in Mina. I know my foster child was looking into that when she turned 16. And YouthWorks took her on a tour there 1.5 weeks ago. And it just really gives children some real life experience and something to look forward to, some path out of that poverty.
And that program it's a wraparound program. It's all encompassing. So it's going to provide them with a place to live. It gives them the residence. It helps them with some of their meals. They're able to have some support. They have like a job coach that helps them figure out study habits and how to complete homework and what courses to take, depending on what it is that they want to be when they grow up. There are courses anywhere from being a chef to welding, to all sorts of things that they can get through that program.
Wow. And Heather, are there similar alternative options in Bismarck for education?
We have what we call South Central High School, and I think they just celebrated their 30th anniversary this year.
And tell us, I know very little about South Central, and so tell us, who goes there? How is it different than, BHS or Century, and what do you really like about South Central?
I mean, South Central's nice and small. It's got about, I'd say, 100 kids in it. On an average day, there's usually, because the classes are different, they're run on like a block schedule. They're there for 110 minutes in a certain class, and it's all self-paced. They start like a regular day, 8:30. It gets done about 2 10 to 15. They've started running different groups, so they work with the kids to see what the needs are. If there's kids with mental health needs, I know last year they were trying to work on, having a group meet together for those that had depression, or, this year they've got like an attendance group working on those kids that have poor attendance. Some of them might be in transition, some might not even be in transition. So it's just kind of varies. They do try and wrap supports around those kids. They do the online classes to they've got their core classes where they have teachers, but then they also do extra classes through the online piece.
And when we're looking at homeless youth in Bismarck, do you have a breakdown of how many of those children are in middle school or high school?
I had last year's stats, and I have to look at those.
Well, I'm just wondering, is it an equal breakout, or do you find that because students are transitioning or are so transient that oftentimes they need some of these alternative options for education, especially once they're in the higher grades? Is it more challenging?
I think we see a higher dropout rate if they're not, they don't have that support and they don't have a home. So we do see a higher dropout rate with those students. And so the tough challenge is, I believe there's more students out there than what we're identifying in our school system as homeless. But it's just hard to tell, because you can't go up and ask a child, are you homeless? Because they're not really going to be that receptive. So we have to be very, very watchful as staff as to how we identify those kids. And many, many times it's been watching lunch lines. Who's not going to go eat? And then you just kind of following and watching and seeing, then find out they're really couch surfing. They're not staying at home. They're couch surfing from place to place, staying with friend to friend.
And so I know the majority of homeless youth in Bismarck-Mandan and homeless families in general are couch surfing. Why are they not staying at our shelters?
For a while, it was when you'd ask a family, they were not open 24/7. They had to be out by 8 o'clock in the morning, I believe, and then they could not come back until 7 or 8 o'clock that night. And then, because once Ruth Myers was open 24/7, I saw a major influx back into the shelters. They were basically to capacity.
And I think they're full on a regular basis now, as
Yes.
is Welcome House in Mandan. And Welcome House did just announce that they're going to be opening up a new family shelter coming January,
Correct.
which will be some more space for people in transition. What are some other good things happening around our community that, success doesn't always sell, but we know that there are a lot of hardworking nonprofit agencies, Ruth Myers and Welcome House and Aid Incorporated, you had mentioned, Laura. What are some other programs and things that are happening inside and outside of the school system?
We have got some new thrift stores, if that's what we want to call them. Community Blessings has started. We have a lot of faith organizations within Bismarck-Mandan that have either started doing food pantries. Corpus Christi Catholic Church in Bismarck does a food pantry. First Lutheran in Mandan is actually running a program where our teenagers can come and eat there for free, because our homeless population struggle to get money into that lunch account at times. And so there are free meals available. Community Blessings has recently opened, in which they are allowing families from both Bismarck and Mandan, if we give them a referral, to come down, and they basically give them a voucher to buy furniture if they need it, beds for their homes, clothing. They have some food items, all sorts of things like that down there. So it is really neat. We have a lot of places in our community to send people. It's just that we need those people that are in our community to give people the options so that they know they're available.
Well, I find that interesting too, because I think people want to help. I was ringing the bell last night for Salvation Army. The generosity of people is unbelievable. And what I love the most is when parents would teach that right in front of their own children by putting some change into the Salvation Army bucket. People want to help. So how can they get involved? What can we do? What can people start doing today to be a part of the solution?
I think first and foremost is getting involved with the United Way campaign, though that money is directly put back into our communities. I have been a part of 4 different grants from different community agencies this year that we are going to be requesting money from United Way. We have plenty of organizations that are going around. Our post offices do a food drive. It's amazing what those cans of food do. And I encourage people to take the best cans of food out of their cupboards and not the canned meat product that, they're not sure they're ever going to use.
From 1972, our United Way helps to sort a lot of that food, and it's unbelievable sometimes how people clean out their cupboards. But you're right, there are very small ways almost every day of the year that you can make a difference and make an impact. We also have parents that bring their children, bring their youth groups to help us sort the food with the Postal Service in May every year. And so just those small ways add up to make a big difference. Laura, you've been really instrumental in getting our United Way backpacks to kids that really need them. We're going to talk more about programs that are working and ways that you can get involved in just a couple minutes. We hope that you will stay tuned, get involved in this conversation. Log on to Facebook /MSAU Way, add your comments, your suggestions, or any questions you might have. We'll be back in just a couple minutes at United Way's Community Talk on Super Talk 1270.